Hi everyone, this is Lara from Not Enough Knitting. Today I'm going to show you how to knit continental style. And this is a little bit different than what you might see on the internet. I taught myself to knit continental from a book quite a few years ago, and when I look at videos on the internet, I do knit it a little bit differently. So this will be learning to knit continental style in my method or in Lara's method. Okay, so the first thing is how to hold your yarn. So I have become really addicted to knitting with circular needles. So pretty much everything I knit, I use circular needles. So when I knit continentally, I hold the yarn with my left hand like normally. So a lot of people like to have their yarn about this far away from the needle, and then they will use your tension with their hand. So I'm not gonna really go into that because I don't knit that way. So there's lots of videos online how to do it that way if that works best for you. So what I do is I hold my yarn in my left hand with my index finger, but I hold it really close to the needle, as you can see here. And then my tension is kept by my yarn just goes over my index finger and it goes behind here and it just snugs up to the needle here, like so. So that's how I hold my yarn, very close to the needle. And I can keep the tension quite tight even just with my index finger because my index finger is so close to that needle. So once you've got your tension, you're gonna probably play around with it for a little bit. It might be awkward to hold your hand so close to the left needle. Once you've got your tension, then you can experiment with the knit stitch. So when I do my knit stitch, I hold my hand, like I said, close to this left needle, and this yarn here is quite snug. So I take my right needle, I put it through like you do a knit stitch, and then what I do is I use my right index finger to guide the needle and grab that piece of yarn. And then I use my index finger to help the needle, the left needle, slide through. And there my stitch is on my right needle. So do that a couple times slowly so that you can see what I'm trying to do. So I take my right needle, using my right index finger, guide that needle to the stitch. See if you can see a little bit better. To the stitch, put it through, and then I also use this index finger to guide the needle to grab the yarn, and then I use my right index finger to slip the left needle out of the stitch, and there I have 2 stitches. So I'll do a few more. So use my right needle under, grab, like so. I'll do a couple more here. It's hard to tell if you can see what is going on. And then the other thing, what I also do is sometimes people will say to use your index finger to hold the stitches over here. I actually use my thumb. Okay, so my index finger is at like the tip of the needle more, and my thumb is holding these stitches. So if you see, my thumb is here, my right index finger is here, and there we go. And I use it to slip through. And then my left thumb is guiding these stitches on the left needle. And then my left index finger is also guiding the yarn. See how it moves there too? Goes with the yarn, gets the stitch through. And there we have a row of knit stitches. Okay, so the purl stitch now is a little bit different, but it's quite similar. So I still use the same setup. I use my left index finger close to my left needle. I use my left thumb to hold the stitches on the left needle. And then I use my right thumb to hold the stitches on the right needle and my right index finger to guide the tip of the right needle. So now what's different with the purl stitch is that this time my yarn is actually over top of the left needle. So what I do is I guide my right needle under the working yarn, into the stitch, bring it up, and then I grab this yarn and I use a motion with both. This left index finger comes up like so, and this one guides the needle to grab it. And then we bring it under the stitch and then we slip it off. And again, I'm using this finger to help the stitch get slipped off. So let's try that again. So you working yarn over top, using my right index finger under, guiding the needle under both the working yarn and the stitch, and then grabbing that working yarn and pulling it under and then slipping it off like so. So do that again. I'm trying to do this a little bit slow so you can see what I'm doing. It's a little bit difficult. So using this right index under both the working yarn and into the stitch and around and over. So if you continue, you can get pretty quick with this as you practice. Not as fast as knitting. And there we just did a purl row. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you is then how do you do a knit and then a purl and then a knit and a purl. So it's a little bit different than just a straight knit or a straight purl. Okay, so the first stitch we'll do is a knit. So like I said, our working yarn now is behind our left needle. Index finger here as well. So we're going to slip the right needle into the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it off using and helping your left needle go through the stitch with this index finger. So now purl, we're gonna flip the yarn over and we're gonna go under and bring it off. And then now we're gonna bring the yarn back under to do our knit stitch right here. Yarn under, now over, now under, now over, now under, now over. And you can see how quick this can actually become when your yarn or your index finger is so close to that needle instead of having it working way out here. But everybody's different, and what works for me might not work for you. I just wanted to show you how I knit, as I have had many questions, how I can knit that way. So I just wanted to show you. I hope that you were able to see.